it's time to recognize some of those professionals who do that hard work despite all the odds. So every year we recognize a set of adjusters who we call outstanding claims professionals. We open this up to any member can be nominated. You send in, we need like a story, like why did they deserve it? And some of these stories are really, really impressive. We had some incredible folks over the years win this, and I'm excited to share the 3 that we have today. So I'm going to go one by one, tell you a little bit about why they got it, and I'm going to ask each of them to hang out on the stage while we wait to get everyone together, and then we'll take a group photo as well. But I'm going to start with Michael Jones, Associate General Property Adjuster at Amica. So clap for Michael. Michael was assigned to a large water loss in his area involving a homeowner who was both physically and emotionally distressed. The homeowner was overwhelmed, obviously, reluctant to deal with the claims process. Again, not something that we don't see with frequency. As a bilingual adjuster, Michael was able to quickly establish rapport and communicate effectively in the customer's native language, gaining a deeper understanding of his personal challenges, which include recently suffering the tragic loss of his wife and child in a car accident, and he's just not been the same since then. So you think you're going for one loss, and you learn it's a lot bigger than that. There was extensive unmitigated water damage, significant personal property exposure, and a home that had been without water for over a week. I mean, you can't even imagine trying to live in a situation like that. During the visit, the homeowner disclosed to Michael they had no money for food or lodging, and at that point, Michael really shifted focus from not just handling the property claim itself, but to addressing policyholders' immediate basic needs: food, water, shelter. We have to help this guy to live. While on site, Michael also personally provided food and arranged for additional meals to be delivered later that evening. He also ensured that the homeowner was able to secure a hotel and offered him transportation to get him there. This is really a holistic, there's a human in need kind of moment, not just I'm here for this water loss and that's where I'm going to keep focused. As the claim progressed, Michael observed that the homeowner was experiencing dizziness and continued emotional difficulty with being displaced during the repairs. Again, very common, but this guy's already been through a lot, so it's just, piling on. Michael made a point to check in regularly, including taking the homeowner to lunch on several occasions, providing support and reinsurance, and being there for him. He worked closely with the contractors to keep the repairs moving smoothly and to minimize disruption. Michael's empathetic and proactive approach exemplifies the highest standards of claims handling. His ability to recognize and respond to policyholders' physical, emotional, and mental health challenges while still effectively managing a complex claim demonstrates the exceptional professionalism and compassion. Michael, will you join me on stage, please? A round of applause for Michael. So hang out, if you don't mind. When I told Michael he was going first, he's like, oh, good, I've got it easy. I was like, well, it's going to be a while. Next, I want to recognize Katie Peterson, Complex CAT Claims Supervisor for Mercury Insurance. During one of the most challenging periods in Mercury's history, the Palisades and Eaton fires, I know everyone here is well aware of those, Katie took decisive ownership of the largest catastrophic events the company's ever faced. From the outset, Katie assumed full responsibility for overseeing the catastrophe response while continuing her professional education and managing her own personal commitments. I think sometimes people forget you also have lives and all sorts of things on your plate outside of work. She effectively coordinated the resources and ensured her team of adjusters had the tools, the guidance, and the support they needed to handle the claims with efficiency and empathy. As a primary liaison with management, Katie proactively created a centralized SharePoint site that got all the critical links and information all together in one place so they could have a significantly streamlined claims resolution and response. Her positive and proactive attitude elevated team morale, fostered unity and motivation during an extremely high-pressure, difficult time. Demonstrating outstanding initiative, Katie and her team immediately volunteered to transition into CAT response as the fires erupted. She engaged directly with the California Department of Insurance workshops, assisting affected insureds within days, and well before the full scope of losses were known. So they were not waiting to know what the situation was, they jumped into action. Katie further distinguished herself by leading early efforts to recommend and coordinate lead and asbestos testing before the broader industry recognized the need. She worked closely with hygienists to interpret findings and guide safe restoration measures while continuously educating her team on evolving procedures, regulatory updates, and best practices. This is actually a conversation I had at dinner last night. It's not just smoke. That smoke is carrying a lot of things with it, and we don't necessarily know what that is right away, and there's hazard beyond what you can see. There's no single action that defines Katie's impact. Everything she does is focused on supporting her team, serving insureds, and ensuring the claims process runs as smoothly as possible so adjusters can perform at their best and insureds can move forward with their lives. Round of applause for Katie. Please join me if you would. All right. And next we have Dan Moore, Senior Executive General Adjuster with Great American Insurance. Dan joined Great American in 2000, growing into his current role as Senior Executive General Adjuster, which he's been in for the last 14 years. When we got his submission, they said, simply put, we can describe him as having that it factor. He immerses himself in the claims he handles. He never simply relies solely on the work and conclusions of experts, but rather seeks to understand the people, the industry, the coverage, the root causes of the loss. He's doing commercial claims, so everyone is different, right? You have to understand the business that you're there to help to really understand the claim. And he wants to understand the impact that a catastrophic loss has on the insured's business itself. So this requires self-education and deep dive into unfamiliar areas such as different equipment that might be used for equipment failure issues. There's an explosion in an oil rig loss, corrosive impact of ammonia gas in a food manufacturing facility, the interdependencies of wholesale jewelry operations and their suppliers. I mean, these are wildly different and wildly complex things. So every claim is a deep dive of needing to get extreme information on something pretty technical. And beyond Dan's technical skills, his emotional intelligence and people skills have contributed to his success. So he conducts himself equally well within a boardroom or at a job site relating to the insureds in all manners of businesses. Several years ago, Dan's skills were on front and center on a highly publicized Champlain Towers condominium collapse in Florida, where he concluded Great American's investigation and tendered the full policy limits totaling more than $30 million in just 22 days, which is a huge effort. For those who know Chip Merlin of the Merlin Law Group, I would just point out he's a former insurance defense attorney, but then flipped to the other side, and he's been quite successful on the plaintiff's side. He's also really outspoken in his criticism of the industry. And I will say he's attacked me plenty on LinkedIn, but then he sends me personal messages that are really nice and friendly, so it might just be an act, but Chip is not publicly friendly to anyone in the industry. And even he said, while I have often criticized insurance claims executives for taking too long to investigate and come to a claims determination, Great American and Dan Moore deserve a bravo and resounding accolades for putting this claim determination to rest. I can't believe I'm relying on Chip to be like, isn't that great? But when the enemy likes you, that's saying something, right? So kudos to Dan. He's an extraordinary claims professional for Great American and for the industry as a whole. So congratulations to Dan.